Hi, welcome to Yin with Sin. My name is Cindy, and I will be your guide today. Today's Yin flow will focus on the nervous system. The poses chosen for this Yin practice are my personal favorite when dealing with an overloaded nervous system. In this practice, we will be doing supportive fish and bow tie. So if you use a block or a bolster for that, grab those close by. If you don't have a bolster, feel free to use pillows and blankets. So go ahead and grab what you need and meet me on your mat. Hey there, welcome back. So glad to share this practice with you today. We're going to go ahead and start off in a child's pose. So meet me in the tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, big toes come to touch, shifting the hips back to the heels. Arms can remain out long or down by your side. If you want a little more stretch in the shoulder, grab a block and place it under each hand with your arms extended, really stretching through the arms, feeling a nice stretch in the upper back. Now that you've found the position that feels the best in your body, start to bring the awareness to your breath. No particular breath in Yin. You just want to make sure that your inhales and exhales are equal, or that you're not holding your breath. And while you're in this position, I really want you to notice any areas that are tight. And what can you do at this very moment to bring more ease to that area? Hold the pose. Mindfully start backing out of the pose, coming into a tabletop position, pressing into the hands and rounding the back, bringing the chin to chest, and hanging out here for a few breaths. start making our way to our next pose. So move any props out of the way. Our next pose will be bow tie. So if you prefer to use a bolster like I do for that, keep it close by. I'll guide you into the pose without a prop, and then we'll move into a prop. Make your way to your stomach. Your legs will be extended long behind you. Arms will be at a 90 degree, palms flat on the floor. Lift the head and chest. Slide your right arm behind your left elbow, turning your right palm facing up. Turn your left arm so it slides in the opposite direction. Lean forward so your forehead meets the mat. If you prefer the bolster like I do for this pose, go ahead and grab it, and you'll want to place it right below the breast. Hands at a 90 degree angle, head and chest lifted. Slide the right arm behind the left elbow, aligning the elbows, bringing the left hand in the opposite direction, relaxing the head. If this is uncomfortable for your neck, you can always place a block or a pillow to fill the gap between you and the floor. Whichever position you chose, sometimes you might have to shimmy a little to get to your most comfortable position. And once you've arrived, I want you to think, I am calm, relaxed, and at peace. Ease out of the pose, meeting in a Sphinx pose to reset before we move off to the other side. Now moving off to the next side, so slide your left arm behind the right elbow. Right arm slides in the opposite direction, head and neck relax. As you hold this pose, think, my mind and my body are at ease. Slowly unwind out of the pose, resetting in a Sphinx pose. We're going to make our way into our next pose, which is supportive fish. I'll set you up first using a bolster, and then I'll guide you into it with blocks if you prefer blocks. Making your way into a seated position, bolster will be lengthways, and bring the bolster to your lower back. As you soften over the bolster, arms can remain to a T or up overhead, whatever's comfortable. Legs can be bent or long. If you feel good here, stay here. Or if you like the blocks, which will be more of an intense stretch, you'll grab your first block laying it lengthways, and then the top block will be support for your head, so it will go in the opposite direction. I like to lay over the block and to lift my hips up to adjust the block to where it's in between my shoulders. And once you have found the comfortable position, then you can lower the hips and knees can be bent or long. Arms again can be at a T, up overhead, whatever feels nice. And once you've arrived into your pose, I want you to think, I release tension and welcome calm. Slowly start coming out of the pose. If you have the blocks, be extremely mindful. I like to lift my hips and rock up and down to massage my back, dipping the chin and pressing into the elbows will help bring you up. Moving any props out of the way as we make our way into our next pose, which is supportive butterfly. Once in a seated position, you'll bring the soles of the feet in to touch, pulling the feet in towards the groin. lengthening through the crown of the head as you hinge at the hips and fold forward. Feel the pull of gravity with each exhale. You can always bring in 2 blocks, stacking them one on top of the other and resting the forehead on the block. As you surrender in this pose, I want you to think, I allow myself to rest and recharge. Back out of the pose. Moving any props out of the way as we make our way to our final pose, which is legs up the wall. As you make your way over to the wall, you'll want to fully extend your legs upward to rest your heels against the wall, keeping a slight bend in your knees to prevent hyperextending them. Rolling the shoulders under to really open up the chest. And once you've arrived, go ahead and close down the eyes, slowly surrendering to this pose. You can repeat the affirmation out loud or to yourself. My nervous system supports my overall health and vitality. Slowly start to bring the awareness back to your body as you wiggle your fingers and your toes, possibly a full body stretch. Rolling off to your favorite side and hanging out here for a minute. Taking your time before moving off into a seated position. In a seated position, your hands can be down by your side, eyes remain closed as we take one final breath together to close out our practice. So inhale the arms up overhead, palms touch, exhale hands to heart center. I want to thank you so much for sharing your yin practice with me today. I hope this practice brings you a little less stress and more relaxation to your week. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this yin practice, focus on the nervous system. If you found value in this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. And if you have any suggestions on any yin practices you would like to see, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I hope you have a wonderful day.